Alright, and we are now live with Tropical Storm Debby tornado warning coverage right now. We do have a tornado warning in effect for portions of DeSoto and Hardee counties. If you're included in this tornado warning, seek shelter immediately on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows and in an interior room. This includes the town of Gardner along Highway 17. This is for portions of extreme south central Hardee and extreme north central DeSoto counties. Okay, this is a very, very tight area of rotation here, very intense. So again, if you're in this area, we need you to get to your tornado safe spot if you're not already. This warning has been in effect for a while, but I imagine that there's some people out here that probably still haven't taken the proper precautions. So now is the time if you've not done that yet. We have not had any confirmed tornadoes with Debby yet, but we have had several tornado warnings actually overnight. And some of them did look to be some pretty intense rotational couplets there, just like this one. Again, we've got ourselves a full-on little supercell here that we'll likely see an extension of the tornado warning for. We got ourselves a little mini supercell. We got a hook echo and everything. Again, it's just one of these outer bands here. Part of it managed to become discrete, and now we've got ourselves a supercell. Now, over the next few hours, we will see Tropical Storm Debby turn into Hurricane Debby, most likely. That's right, by this evening, we are expecting to have a full-blown Category 1 hurricane out of this, with sustained winds of 75 miles per hour and gusts up to 90 miles per hour, as we are expecting a devastating landfall in the Florida Big Bend area. All right, now, the details on this are still just a tad bit fuzzy, but we do know these things for a fact. We're going to see a Category 1 hurricane landfall in the Big Bend of Florida. We're expecting the sustained winds to be around 90 miles per hour and the gusts to be up to 115 miles per hour, which are catastrophic wind speeds. So look out for that. And then we are expecting it to travel through portions of south central Georgia, eventually re-enter the Atlantic, and make a secondary landfall in the Carolinas here, okay? So we do have counties under evacuation orders, so if you're under an evacuation order and you haven't gotten out yet, now is the time. We are starting to see some of these outer bands creep a little bit further northward, and again, you can see Debby very clearly here on the radar imagery, alright? We've got ourselves a monstrous storm here, again, soon to be a hurricane, and again, it's going to be interesting because we are expecting some serious storm surge now, way higher than totals we were talking about yesterday. We are saying some areas could see storm surge up to 10 feet, which is absolutely ridiculous. That would be catastrophic storm surge. That would be higher than anywhere we've seen so far in the U.S. from a hurricane this year, if that were to happen. So we've got to be on high alert here, alright? And again, we do have 9 counties under hurricane warnings in portions of the Florida Big Bend. This includes areas east of Tallahassee and west of Live Oak, alright? Cross City, you're under a hurricane warning. Perry, you're under a hurricane warning. Madison, hurricane warning, alright? All those pinkish, kind of dark pinkish boxes there, those are your hurricane warnings that we do have in effect, alright? So if you're in those areas, again, I know a lot of you guys are under evacuation orders, so just get out now, alright, while you still have time, because the system is coming in fast, and there we go. We do have a new tornado warning now in effect. This is for portions of central Hardee County and extreme southwestern Polk County. So if you're included in this tornado warning, seek shelter immediately. This includes Zolfo Springs, Wauchula, and Bowling Green in Florida. So please take cover now. This area of rotation is right near Buchanan along Highway 17. So if we do have a tornado, it would be right in the Buchanan area. So seek shelter now in that region as well. We do have another little rotational couplet trying to develop here. This would be off to the far northeast of Northport, Florida. So it'd be approaching Sandy, Edgeville. So look out in that area, prepare for a potential tornado warning to come out, and prepare to take shelter if necessary. We do have a tornado watch in effect. This includes a big chunk of central and northern Florida, and even back into portions of extreme southern Georgia here. We do have that tornado watch going out for areas like the Valdosta region, okay? So we can't rule out a few tornadoes today. The Storm Prediction Center has us now at a 5% tornado risk, alright? That slight risk of severe weather there, that yellow shade, that's what that is for. And then the NATOcast AI forecasting tool has us at a 10% tornado risk. So if you're in, let me go and pull this up here. If you're in the yellow zone, again, the SPC says you have a 5% chance to see a tornado today. But NATOcast is saying, hey, alright, maybe we get some spots that have a 10% chance to see a tornado, and the area that would be in would be kind of across the Tampa area, all right, west central Florida, and then a little sliver of northeastern Florida just south of Jacksonville is where that's going out for. Now remember, that's still an experimental tool. It's all AI driven, and it's actually saying that tomorrow we do have ourselves a 15% tornado risk to worry about for a sliver of Georgia and South Carolina, and I do actually think that out of all the days, tomorrow will have the highest tornado threat, all right, so we'll continue to watch things as they evolve here. Again, obviously, right now, we got to focus on our tornado warning storm, mainly located in Polk County at the minute, so we'll keep an eye on this. We'll keep an eye on some of these other areas of rotation that we're seeing briefly spin up. We've got to watch every little pocket of white that meets a pocket of dark green today, because that could be indicative of some rotation, right? So we're going to keep this going here. Let me pull up stream chat real quick. What's up, everybody? Good morning, grab card. Yeah, no problem. I mean, sorry I couldn't go live last night. We had a bunch of tornado warnings overnight, but and even early this morning, but I haven't been able to go live until now, so this is probably not going to be a very long live stream, probably an hour max, but I will say that later today we will have a much longer live stream out covering tornado warnings from Hurricane Beryl. Sorry, what am I saying? It's not a hurricane, and it's not Beryl. From Tropical Storm Debby. I keep wanting to call it Beryl. I don't know why. But again, we do have that tornado warning now going out for portions of Polk and Hardee counties. If you're just now tuning in, tornado warning in effect for the Bowling Green, Florida area. Seek shelter immediately. Your sister's in Venice, Florida, so you've been looking for info. Yeah, we actually have a few viewers over the past few days that have been tuning in from the Venice area, and right now Venice is a-okay. You're just getting some rain. I will say Venice is going to have a major flooding threat, and tack on that storm surge, you're definitely going to see some places probably get almost completely submerged along the immediate coastline, so that would be something to look out for. In the Venice area, right, we are expecting some major impacts, all right? We're talking about damaging winds of 40 to 50 miles per hour with gusts up to 65 miles per hour. We're talking about 2 to 4 feet of storm surge being possible with this once everything is said and done, and 3 to 6 inches of rainfall. So even if you're not along the immediate coastline, you could still see some flooding. And the tornado threat, all right? The situation is now labeled as favorable for tornadoes for this area, so the potential impacts with this are significant. The occurrence of scattered tornadoes can hinder the execution of emergency plans during tropical events. Several places may experience tornado damage, with a few spots of considerable damage, power loss, and communication failures. Locations could realize roofs torn off, frame houses, mobile homes demolished, boxcars overturned, large trees snapped or uprooted, vehicles tumbled, and boats tossed about. Dangerous projectiles can add to the toll. I cannot speak. But yeah, that's what the forecast is for the Venice area. It's a bit more aggressive than what we've been talking about, so you gotta watch out for that, obviously. Again, we're watching all these little bean-shaped storms here, these little, not really supercells, but these kind of outer bands that are developing some rotation. We gotta look out for every single one of them, because they're all gonna have the potential to produce a tornado. So we'll watch out for all of these, obviously. Again, the rotation with our tornado warning storm now being located right over Moffett. Rotation in general does seem to be weakening, but we'll keep watching it as it approaches the Zolfo Springs area. Look out for that one. Again, we got a couple of cells trying to rotate up closer to the Tampa area, so we'll watch out for a potential tornado warning there. And we do have a flash flood warning in effect, by the way. This flash flood warning is going out for western Collier County, Naples, Naples Manor, Marco Island, Pelican Marsh. This is on the southwest coast of Florida. For spots we are seeing 2 to 4 inches of rain in an hour for, so stay alive, don't drive. I don't know why the severe warning counter is on 14. We definitely don't have 14 severe thunderstorm warnings. But we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for portions of Orange County and Osceola counties. This does not include Orlando, but it does include the southeast side of town, near Vista East, and Weehawhee. This does not have the tornado possible tag on it, surprisingly enough, but it is warned for 60-mile-an-hour damage and wind gusts, so look out for that. Tropical storm watches and storm surge watches go as far out as the South Carolina coast now, Charleston, South Carolina, even going all the way up towards areas like McClellanville and Jamestown, South Carolina. We're starting to see some of those watches come in. So, again, the system is moving its way up north quite quickly. Again, we're expecting a landfall in the Big Bend as of right now. Again, a few of these little supercellular type storms here trying to develop. And again, all of them are going to be able to develop rotation quickly, so we got to watch them all closely. Again, we do have a tornado warning now in effect for central Polk County. Again, the rotation would be in the Moffett area right now, along Moffett Road, the intersection of Moffett Road and Highway 17. Approaching Oak Grove at this point. Somewhere in between Oak Grove and Zolfo Springs and Moffett is where it would be. We're also going to watch out for any little blob that pops up on the correlation coefficient to see if that's a debris signature, because, you know, we're going to check the velocities every single time we see one of those, because sometimes these little spin-ups, there's so many of them that they can become sneaky, alright? You don't notice all of them, so we have to really keep an eye out for all of them. Again, I'm not seeing anything right now indicative of a tornado anywhere, but anytime we see a little splotch of blue like this, we'll have to watch. Again, that's not a debris signature, but it could trick you. So again, if you're not tuning in, we are covering Tropical Storm Debby, soon to be Hurricane Debby, as it is producing rotating supercells capable of producing tornadoes. We're also seeing widespread damaging wind gusts, storm surge, and flooding rains. We do have Storm Chaser Vince Welty right now. He's went ahead and positioned himself in Perry, Florida. That's close to where Hurricane Idalia made landfall there. And then we also have Storm Chaser Brandon Kopic on his way down. He is right now on the south side of Valdosta. But, again, our system right now is just off the west coast of Florida. It's located about 125 miles southwest of Tampa at the moment. The eye of the storm is, anyway. And, again, we got all these little areas of rotation popping up. Again, I'd be concerned about this one here. We'll watch it. Looks to be one of the sneakier ones, but approaching the Miyaka City area, Parmalee, however you pronounce that. And then again, a couple of these up closer to Tampa are rotating just a little bit. They do have pretty impressive supercellular shapes, though, so we'll watch those. Yeah, this one especially, I mean, that looks pretty concerning there. Again, this is developing a serious hook echo, too. Wow. So, again, we could see a tornado here anytime over the next few hours. Again, we got a lot of different little spots of rotation here. And our most concerning one, once again, at one point was our tornado warning storm here in Polk County. And actually, it is kind of strengthening a little bit with its rotation. So we'll continue to watch that. Again, now on the southwest side of Zolfo Springs is your area of rotation. Again, seek shelter immediately. This is a tornado warning going out for central Polk County and southwestern Polk County and central Hardee County. I keep saying Polk County, but it's actually Hardee County. And again, we got a couple areas of rotation back up closer to Tampa here to watch. Right now, we got the supercell near Wauchula. What's up, Gooseman? And then we got a couple near Tampa. And then we got a little area of rotation along this line here. There's a little notch. And if we check velocities again, we got ourselves some very weak rotation here at this point, but it's definitely still noticeable. But again, our main focus needs to be on the Zolfo Springs area, as this could produce a tornado at any second. So again, please get to your safe spot. Very serious situation here. Again, Oak Grove, Fort Greene Springs, the west side of Wauchula. That's the area that we're concerned about at this point over the next several minutes. Again, this is in Hardy County, central Hardy County, that we're watching, right in the heart of the county here. I believe Wauchula is the county seat, most likely. But we are right smack dab in the middle right now in the Zolfo Springs area. Again, Highway 17 here. I'd watch out. But this is, again, looking pretty concerning. With the winds going away from the radar increasing. And the winds going towards the radar remaining steady. They're decently strong. So again, we'll watch to see if a debris signature pops up with that. What's up, Mr. Storm? Yeah, that's definitely some crazy rotation. Again, on the west side of Zolfo Springs is where that's located. And again, we got that little notch there. Little area of inflow going into the storm. That's where our rotation would be located. Again, this is in Hardy County. Or no, actually, that's my bad. The rotation is actually located on this little hook. It's a little confusing, but we have like a double hook with this storm. Oh, you're good. Sounds good. But yeah, again, this is a pretty serious area of rotation here. We'll watch to see if a debris signature pops up with that. Again, the most recent velocity scan put this on the west side of Zolfo Springs. So actually, again, it's a little confusing, but our rotation is right in here. It's kind of rather in the middle of the storm, rather than located around one of the hooks, actually. For some reason, we're not getting an update on the velocities here, but we do have an update on the correlation coefficient, and we're not seeing any sort of debris signature or anything, so that's a good sign. But again, that could definitely change over the next several minutes, as we have a very strong area of rotation in a discrete environment here. So again, this is in central Hardy County that we're watching here, so please seek shelter immediately if you are included in this tornado warning. And again, eventually this will be in far southwestern Polk County. Again, I'm waiting for the velocities to update. They're just not doing it. But again, if you're just not tuning in, we are covering Tropical Storm Debby, as it is causing some devastating impacts already in terms of flash flooding, brief tornadoes, and destructive wind gusts, as well as storm surge. We do have a report of flooding out of Naples from earlier this morning. Apparently there was a photo of moderate street flooding sent in after a rain band passage from Tropical Storm Debby. So again, it only takes a few of these rain bands, guys, for the flooding to really pile on. Because look how torrential this is, alright? We're getting close to 60 dBZs of rain. Which is insane. Did not mean for that to rhyme, but yeah, I guess the velocities just want to be a scan behind, so that's fine. It'd be nice if they weren't, but you know, what can you do? Okay, so we do have the new reflectivity scan, so we better get a new velocity scan now. Again, your rotation should be somewhere in here now, on the southwest side of Wauchula, west of Highway 17, northwest of Zolfo Springs, and northeast of Oak Grove, kind of in that area there in between all three of those little communities. And, yeah, so there it is. I mean, it's pretty intense, definitely. Yeah, that is now on the southwest side of Wauchula. Again, I really need to figure out how to pronounce that, but yeah, that's looking pretty concerning, so we'll keep watching that. Some of our rotation areas up here are becoming a little less impressive, but again, at this point, this storm, its hook really poke into this storm here, so this storm is probably actually not going to do much more. The hook with this storm is in a much more discrete environment, so again, we could see that rotation potentially pick up just a little bit more near the Turkey Creek area, but as of right now, it's nothing too concerning in terms of an immediate tornado threat. But yeah. Back during Hurricane Idalia, almost exactly a year ago, we did have a tornado warning just a little bit to the east of here. for the Avon Park area, Avon Park. Because again, these little just little bands of the hurricanes and tropical storms that we get to go through this area here, they do occasionally cause tornadoes, and in our most recent hurricane, Hurricane Beryl, sometimes even significant tornadoes that produce even sometimes up to catastrophic damage. Again, it's not really the first thing you think of whenever you think of a hurricane, but sometimes it ends up being one of the more devastating impacts. Like with Beryl, obviously Texas's biggest impacts were with the storm surge and all those power outages, but I mean, Louisiana, I'd argue the worst Beryl for it was the tornado threat. And that, remains true for all the way up into Indiana. Indiana even got tornadoes from Beryl. Strong tornadoes. There was an EF3 that went through southwest Indiana during Hurricane Beryl. And even all the way back into New York, we saw some tornadoes 2 days after the system made landfall. And it's crazy. It wasn't even a tropical depression at that point, but just some of these systems, man, they way overperform. Again, especially in 2024. So let's kind of check the east coast of Florida here. I'm expecting less tornadoes here on the east coast than the west coast, obviously. But so we're going to watch some of these. They could sneak up on us, but right now I'm not really seeing any sort of rotation with any of those. Again, right now the main storm we're watching is the storm. Now just condensed the warning for north central Hardee and southwestern Polk counties. Still in effect there. And on the newest velocity scan, the rotation is still there. It's pretty weak, though, on the northwest side of Wauchula. And then we do have a couple of rotations up here again, one near Turkey Creek and one near Arbor Green in Tampa. So again, this storm here is developing a hook echo, and it is free to continue to rotate more, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a tornado warning with that storm. And again, this one, we could see the same, but it's a little bit less discreet, so again, just rotation is much less impressive with it. They may even just remove it altogether. But and I'd be watching this right over Turkey Creek. I'd say this is our new most impressive area of rotation right now. And I mean, it's just gonna continue to grow, I think, as it heads across extreme northeastern suburbs of Tampa here. Areas like Antioch Place, Thousand Oaks, Arbor Green, Wesley Chapel, Interstate 75, I'd be watching out over the next several minutes. What's up, Kevin? So the rotation, oh wait, that's the wrong scan. I don't know why it's showing a couple scans back. Again, the rotation here with our tornado warning storm very quickly dying. Again, I seriously doubt we see a tornado with that at this point, but we'll continue to watch it just to make sure it doesn't re-strengthen. Yeah, I know it popped off with tornado warnings earlier, but unfortunately I wasn't home. Yeah. But we haven't had any confirmed tornadoes yet. Again, we do have this area of rotation near Turkey Creek here to watch out for, but even at this point, it's not looking too crazy. But I think it could intensify. Again, it's a semi-discrete cell here with a hook echo. It's rotating very broadly and everything. So we'll watch for that to grow as it crosses Interstate 4 here over the next several minutes. I have a massive special weather statement for Orlando southward. Almost called it Orlando. But other than that, I mean, again, we don't really have too many storms to watch. Again, we do have a 5% tornado risk out from the SPC today, 10% if you prefer NATOcast, over a large portion of Florida. Now, that doesn't mean we only have a 5% chance to see a tornado total. That means that everybody in this yellow shade here has a 5% chance to see a tornado in their town today, so look out for that. Outer bands south of Arcadia continue to rotate, or attempt to rotate. Let's check it out. To the south of Arcadia, yeah, we've been watching these for a little bit, especially this one. It's kind of in a radar dead zone, but it's Definitely rotating a little bit there, so we'll continue to watch those. But again, I mean, these are becoming full-on supercells, guys. And this is the point where things get a little bit more concerning. But again, 20 to 1 in effect for Hardy and Polk counties right now. Okay. So, again, if you're just now joining us, we are covering Tropical Storm Debby live, soon to be Hurricane Debby. Again, by the end of the day, we are expecting a Category 1 hurricane. By the way, whenever Debby makes landfall, the chance of me being live is medium. I have things to do this week. I will be live probably before landfall, probably around 7 a.m. So just before landfall, probably be live for Debby. And then I'll be live later in the afternoon for Debby, possibly, whenever it's kind of along the Florida-Georgia state line. Did I see what happened with the limestone tornado today? Did we have a tornado today? Did we have a tornado? I didn't realize that. Is that confirmed? Was it this? That's actually pretty impressive. Was it this area of rotation here? Let's check it out. I feel like I was watching this. Yeah, I was watching this area, actually. I wasn't live, but... Is that confirmed? Or is that a different storm? No, it wasn't a supercell. No, it was a supercell CC drop and everything. Oh, one of these. Okay. So we'll check both of them here. Wow. I did not see this. I was at church when this happened, so... Yeah, I mean, if there was a CC drop, then it might as well have been confirmed. Was it this? Because that is a massive, massive rotation couplet there, obviously. Let's check for a debris ball here. Good catch. I don't see a CC drop. Yeah, I saw that some of the rotations were concerning for a while. Over the past few hours. Am I going too fast? Because I don't see the CC drop. Let me slow it down a little bit here. Do I need to look from a different radar site or something? Wasn't a CC? Okay. Let's check velocities here. So actually, again, some of our rotations on the east side of Tampa are starting to intensify again. Again, the one along Interstate 4 and the other one closer to Highway 56. These are things to watch because these could definitely produce tornadoes. If they do intensify just a little bit, they do have, again, supercellular features to them. If they were a little more discreet, I think we'd already have tornadoes out of those. I'm going to be honest with you. Alright. So again, our tornado warning storm here, at this point, the rotation is very minimal. Again, I would remove this tornado warning if I was the National Weather Service. Again, this is the supercell I'd be watching at this point. I think if we do have one that ggets tornado warned, it would be this one. This is a broad, but decently strong area of rotation north of Interstate 4, approaching Antioch Place and Alligator Bob's, right over Appling Woods. Interesting town names, to say the least, huh? Again, I doubt this storm will get a new tornado warning. It does not look impressive to me at this point. Not at all. I think if anything, it'll just be a heavy rain and gusty wind threat from this point forward, but again, this is probably going to be our next cell that we really have to watch. Okay, maybe not. The hook's a lot less impressive. It's still there. We'll keep watching it for a little bit here. Wow, so some of these areas of rotation around the Arcadia area are really starting to ramp up. I mean, they're not, like, super intense, but they're, definitely spinning. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the tools that try to forecast the probabilities of tornadoes in real time. They never end up being that accurate. I mean, it just doesn't seem like a thing that I think is possible in our near future, that we get accurate tornado forecasts. Like, we can forecast over a general area, but we can't talk about specifics on the exact percentage chance of a supercell producing a tornado. Yeah, Arcadia's been kind of the brunt of all of our areas of rotation today. These are not the first three to approach the area. We have had dozens. I've been watching, and it's been pretty crazy. So, again, if you're just now joining us, we are watching Tropical Storm Debby here, soon to be Hurricane Debby. Continue to produce more areas of rotation here on the west coast of Florida. It actually may be Hurricane Debby at this point, I'll be honest with you. And would you look at that? We've got ourselves, let's go, a Project Mezzo work cam here, it looks like, set up by Vince Welty. I don't know if this is officially Project Mezzo work camera or not, but we'll keep it up there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's pretty sweet. Let's get a W Vince going in chat. Alright. Move this down a little bit. So that's pretty good. W Vance. Okay. Just pointed at his head for no reason with arrows. I don't know what I'm doing. Again, this tornado warning, yep, there we go. I was literally just about to say it doesn't even deserve to be in effect anymore, and it did expire there, so. We don't have any severe alerts right now, so that's good. That'll definitely change. Again, we've had several tornado warnings overnight and into the early morning hours today. And we'll get several more, but anyway. But yeah, if you do have a Radar Omega now, you can look at this camera live. You can watch Vince Welty struggle to set it up here. That is near Keaton Beach. That's where we're expecting the general area of the landfall to be. I'm not just saying this because the track is a little bit further west, but I actually do think it'll be a little further west. I think that it can make landfall even, maybe a little further west than the track. It could be somewhere just to the east of Tallahassee. But yeah. And it's going to be in the kind of where the area where the Big Bend of Florida and the Panhandle of Florida meet. New Storm Prediction Center update, by the way, keeping the 5% tornado risk, just skimmed it a little further to the west here. I just slurred half my words, I'm so sorry. We also do not have a slight risk in southeastern Montana. This is driven by a damaging wind threat, I imagine. No. Driven by a hail threat. No. Oh, it's glitched. Okay, whenever it turns back on, it'll, change back, but you get the gist. So there we go. There's the live cam set up there. Some rotation around South Venice, Florida. Is that, South Venice? I'm trying to remember where Venice is off the top of my head. I need to know some of these places off the top of my head if I want to cover hurricanes, over the next several years. So again, this is really the first year I'm doing this kind of stuff live. But yeah, there's a little bit. Again, I'd mainly be watching these, though, in the Arcadia area. Also, the ones on the northeast side of Tampa are something to watch, definitely, but they're really not impressing me at this point. This one's hook echo is low precip, which is interesting. Maybe some sort of rotation trying to get going near the Oakland area. That was a really weird voice crack that I did. But anyway. Alrighty. Looks like he finally got the camera set up. Yeah, I don't know. We don't really have anything to watch right now. Of course, the exact moment that I go live is the moment where things finally start to settle down. Alrighty. So, I think that's going to conclude this stream. I know it was really short, but, I mean, we don't have anything to talk about. Again, we could talk about, the forecast for Debby all day, but we kind of all already know. Again, if you're not aware, we're expecting a Big Bend landfall. We are expecting this to ride the southeast coast here, re-enter the Atlantic just briefly, and then make another landfall somewhere in the Carolinas as a tropical storm. And we do have a tornado warning now. Okay. So, tornado warning now in effect. I was just about to end there, but I think they get me going. But I don't really see too much rotation with that. Again, the rotation would be there near Interstate 75, I think. Or it would be down here to the south near the Royal Palm Hammock area. Yeah, we do have a high risk in the Carolinas for flooding on day 3 now, which is Tuesday. So look out for that. That's the highest risk, guys. Take that very seriously. We're expecting a catastrophic 20 to 30 inches of rain over a small swath of the Carolinas and potentially Georgia. Yeah, I don't know. I may still end off here. I don't see anything too impressive with this. again, if this produces a tornado, I'll be back. But I think for right now, we're going to end things off. So I do want to thank you all for tuning in to this live stream. It has been relatively active, and we will be live again later. We do have a 52-mile-an-hour gust recording out of Azalea Park. That's in Orlando. But yeah,